this is where we are. Um, we're into week 4 of the semester. So you had this reading, and that it's a pretty comprehensive look at what we mean by visualization, and the different kinds of visualizations and how visualization works, and the sort of background of visualization, its evolution over the decades. So it's pretty comprehensive. Um, it's about 20 pages. Take your time, read through it. You might need little breaks because, interestingly, at least in the version we have this article, it's not very visually appealing. An article on visualization without a lot of visualization. But it'll give you some background information. And then the short YouTube video on the basics of metadata, it's good information to have. And then the information architecture basics, you sort of check it out. So this is a very useful website. It makes you think about how you will visualize, organize, or structure your project. So how you will visualize the design of your project. And this is something that I need to do more. I'm so used to writing papers, and I'll have a point, and I don't necessarily spend time visualizing the structure of the paper before I write it. And there are some people who prefer to do that. You can actually definitely do that with any research project, whether you're writing a paper or developing a website. But definitely for digital, humanities projects, just check out the information, like the different kinds of models that you can create. And also, it has lots of good information regarding like the questions you can ask yourself. Let's see. So the user-centered design process map, wireframing, interaction design, content strategy. So content-oriented components, people-oriented components, best practices for creating meaningful content. So there's lots of very good information. I would recommend, even if you don't read through everything, just kind of browsing through this website and these resources will really help you, not only for the project for this class, but for future projects that you're going to work on, whether they are digital humanities projects or simply papers that you're going to write. Okay. And then finally, it's not on the syllabus, but I added a new video for you to watch. So I'd like you to watch this video. You just go to class, you go to readings, and then look for something called what's the name of the video? Telling Stories Through Digital Mapping by Dr. Emily Edwards. Dr. Emily Edwards, she specializes in digital humanities. She teaches in New York. She did this workshop in the spring semester, and she talked about digital mapping, MapGIS, and also Timeline.js. So watch the video. She's very engaging, and it's really, really going to help you sort of, it'll give you a sense of the different things that you can explore, and the different sort of options that you have when you are visualizing data. And the reason why we are focusing on data visualization is we have to keep in mind that digital humanities marries the print medium with other modalities, right? And so it incorporates a very visual component. You have, I mean, when you have your website, you can have images, you can have, a collection of images that you've curated. You can have videos, you can have charts, statistics. So even the way you design a blog or you take an academic paper and you post it online, but you hyperlink, that's also a process of data visualization, right? So there are many different ways of visualizing data, but being aware of the different opportunities and being able to, let's say, incorporate or embed an interactive map if your digital project sort of deals with mapping of different locations, let's say, and we'll play around with that a little bit today. So though knowing of those options, being able to explore some of those options, and it has to be targeted, right? So I completely understand if you're not familiar with data visualization, if you've not, and it can feel intimidating, like, okay, I'm not that good with technology, or I am good with technology, but I've never done mapping, or I really like am not good with statistical analysis and sort of creating data sets. And so that seems extremely intimidating to me. How am I going to create a data set and incorporate that and sort of, create a visual? But there are some tools that are really, really easy and you can explore them. And through exploration, you get to play around and learn more. And then the first time you use the tool, you have something really, really simple, but that gives you the confidence to build something more complex later on. And for the purposes of this digital project, you're just playing around and you don't necessarily have to have something extremely complex. But all of these tools show you examples, they give you templates. So again, it's like you're at an ice cream store and you get to taste the different kinds of flavors, and you can ask about, okay, how do you make this flavor? I really like this, what's in it? Can you show me the process? And the person running the ice cream store is really happy to talk to you and is going to introduce you to other people who can tell you more about the process of making those different kinds of flavors. And that's really what this is. Okay. And so today, I'm going to keep it short. I don't want to, we don't have to go over the readings today. And I didn't want to give you any activities because I know that you'll be working on the reflection paper. So what today's plan really is, I'm going to show you two different tools that you can use to visualize data, and then we'll practice. And I know that Blanca is sort of logged on through her iPhone, but actually some of these tools you can use even on your smartphone. So when I was sort of playing around with some tools last night, they actually have app versions. A lot of these data visualization tools have app versions. And so, you can use your tablet, your laptop, your smartphone. Again, the whole point is the people who are, and these are all free digital tools, or they have a free version for people who are not necessarily professional web designers and they don't necessarily need the paid version, right? But before I get to those two tools, and that's what we are going to do today, I also want to take a quick look at, as I said, the syllabus and schedule. So let's pull that up. And what I was telling you, so this week, all you're working on is the reflection paper. And then next week, this is the update that I made to the schedule. You don't have any assignments to work on. We won't be meeting for our Tuesday Zoom session. All you need to do is attend as many of the events with Dr. Earhart that you can. If you happen to be on campus, you're welcome to have lunch with her, attend the workshop in person, and then also attend the presentation. You can also, maybe if you happen to be on campus in the morning and you attend the workshop, or in the early afternoon and you attend the workshop in person, but then you have to go home, and you can log into the presentation on Zoom. So it's entirely up to you. Try to attend at least one of the workshop or the presentation. And it's completely okay if you can't be on campus, because remember, one of the ways we wanted to adapt to the program to your needs was to make sure that you would be able to take your classes online. And we recognize that many of you are working and you may not live in Kingsville. So you should be able to attend the workshop on Zoom or attend the presentation on Zoom. So just make sure to check. And I will be recording the sessions. So if for any reason you had an emergency on Wednesday and you couldn't log in, just let me know and I'll make the recording available to you. But that is the plan for next week. Then the following week, I'll introduce a new assignment, and I've given you time, that class review time. Really, over the next couple of weeks, you will need to finalize your digital project topic. So I want to give you time to think about your digital project topic, start visualizing the structure, come talk to me, not just the first time that you've met with me, but do a sort of follow-up meeting and say, okay, here's where I am, this is what it looks like, this is what, so that I can set up the website for you. Whether you're going to use WordPress to create a website or you're going to use Omeka to create a collated collection. And start playing around with WordPress and Omeka, the free versions. But if you need some help, again, a lot of this class is going to be one-on-one sessions. So next week, even though you have those events with Dr. Amy Earhart, want to set up a meeting with me and you need some help with WordPress or you need some help with Omeka, just talk to me and I can show you how the thing works, how the website works. I'd be happy to kind of give you like a quick run through, and then you can work on it a little bit more and then sort of decide, okay, this really looks good for me. I think I'm going to go with this, and I'll create your account. Okay. So Monica, you were talking about setting up a meeting. So you have plenty of time. Just send me an email. You're welcome to come meet me on campus, or you are welcome to set up a meeting on Zoom. And then give me a sense of what you wish to cover during the meeting. And then I'll, set up the meeting time accordingly. Like I can, set up a 15-minute meeting or a 30-minute meeting, or if necessary, an hour-long meeting, or we can break it up. We'll meet, let's say, early next week to talk about your topic. And then the following week, we can have a follow-up meeting and talk a bit more about structure and what sort of platform would be best for you and give it better shape and I can help you narrow the topic down and finalize it so that you are ready to write your digital project proposal. Any questions about the change, the update to the schedule? Okay, so now let's start with timeline.js. And what I did was, there are nothing against our university. Our university, we are a small public university, and we try to do as much as we can to provide our community with resources and access to new kinds of research, given the resources that we have, right? The funding that we get from the state, and also we're trying to build programs. We're trying to. That's why I'm able to bring Dr. Amy Earhart so that we can have other experts from other institutions come and talk to us. But there are larger institutions with more robust digital humanities programs, and they have librarians who specialize in digital humanities, and they have consultants who specialize in digital humanities, and they create these really interesting and very useful resource pages. But the great thing is that those pages are usually accessible to everybody. And so if you were to do a little Google search on digital tools or digital humanities resources, you would find a lot of pages or resource pages from libraries of other universities. So I picked one of those and I made it available to you under the supplementary materials tab, a new tab that I created, and it's the digital tools page from the University of Arizona Library. So when you click on that, this is what it's going to look like. And it's awesome that the librarian who specializes in digital humanities and data visualization, digital humanities tools, is Anthony Sanchez. So he made, or they made, a list of data visualization tools, and basically they're linked to, and these are all free applications. And the librarian provides these really brief sort of explanations of what the tool does, which is really, really helpful, right? So you can go down, and right now, if you click on the link to this page and you scroll down, you'll see the link to Timeline.js. Okay, so and then click on Timeline.js, and then this page will open up for you. Okay, so you want to go to our Blackboard website, go to supplementary materials, click on the link that says digital tools from University of Arizona Libraries. That's going to open up this page. And then when you scroll down, you'll have access to the Timeline.js link that's going to open up this website. Give me a thumbs up. So you can use the icon at the bottom where it says there's too many options right now. I think reactions. So the button that says reactions, and then just give me a thumbs up when you have the website pulled up. Awesome, Nadia. Found it, Blanca. Monica?
I'm on my tablet. I'm trying to maneuver this, so
Okay.
give me a little bit of time.
Or, you can just simply open up a browser and put in timeline.nightlab.com. Either way, you can get to this website. The session is recording, right? Yes, it is recording. I see Ifiani has also joined the session. Welcome, Ifiani. I hope you're doing well.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Found it, Carla?
Yeah, my thumbs up, I think it's like hiding or something.
Okay. All right. So if you have found this page, this is what you're going to do next. Okay. You can click on make a timeline, but it doesn't open up another page. It just takes you a little further down. So you can just sort of scroll down, and there is a video how to use timeline.js. So if you need to kind of very quickly revisit the process, you can just watch this video. The only challenge that I faced was I couldn't figure out how to expand this video. It's really, really small. So you have to kind of press Control plus to make the page bigger. But you know, it's a really, really easy, simple process. So what we're going to do is we're going to scroll all the way down and see where it says make a timeline, and then you have these steps. So the first step, and I'm assuming all of you have a Google account, a Gmail account, and even if you don't have one, you can very easily create one. And don't worry, you don't have to share anything right now, okay? But you have your Gmail account, and you have your Gmail account, and with that, you have a Google Drive account, right? And you don't have to have a paid for Google Drive account because this will not eat up a lot of space. So all we are going to do is we'll click on the get the spreadsheet template. And when it opens up, I'm going to click on make a copy. Now this automatically saved it to my drive, my Google Drive. I'm going to show you how, I was playing around with this yesterday, and this is incredibly easy to use. Did it open up for you, Carla? Okay, Nadia, did it open up for you? Josie? Okay, so just for the sake of playing around with this, see the section, the cell under headline. So I'm going to highlight that cell, and then I'm going to type in my life story. Okay. And then click on the cell under text and just hit delete. And I can delete all the other cells in this row. So this one under media credit, media caption, title, delete all of those. Okay. Now I'm going to start creating my timeline. So I could do, make up stuff, but, if I did 2002, put in August, so month is 08, and day is 1, I guess, so at 8. And then end is 2004, month is 7, 31, earning a master's degree text. During these 2 years, I was a graduate student in the MA in English program at Jawaharlal Nehru University in Delhi. Okay. Media, I can add media here, and I can add like a link to a YouTube video, or I can add an image. So suppose I want to add an image. So I'm going to go to insert image in cell, browse. I'll just add that. I mean, I just need an image, so I'll just add that. Media credit, so I can if it's a media, if it's an image I'm using from another website, I'll give it credit. I can put in a caption. Me at graduation. Okay. And then I'm going to delete the background. Yeah, delete the background.
Is that hex colors? Like, is that colors?
I think that was colors, but then I see like another like a link. So I just deleted the background, and we can play around with the background later on. Right now, I just want to see what it looks like, right? So I'm just sort of, so 2004. So the red part is the start date, and the gray part is the end, because it says end year. And so like that, I can create a second slide. And let's say I say 2004, and then 8/1. I don't have to put a time in there. And then I'll say 2005, 7/31 morning, and info degree. And then I'll just copy paste that. And what kind of YouTube video can we use? Like, YouTube. Oh, how to fillet a halibut. That looks good. I'm just making this stuff up, okay? So what we're going to do is, see, it's just HTTPS, so I can just go here and put that in. Okay. Media credit. So what is the culinary news? Oops. Media caption. Video. Okay, I'm going to delete this one as well. That's it. I'm going to leave it here because this at least gives me 2 slides. Now, the thing that you don't want to do at this stage is delete any of the headings. So you kind of have to work with this, but as you become more confident, there are ways in which you can actually change the look of the timeline. And, Carla, as you said, like, can I change the background color? But also you can add like new columns. Okay, so, but first play around with this. Once you're done, you're going to go to File, you're going to go to Share, Publish to Web, and click on Publish. Okay. Now, leave this link alone. Close this box, select the link on top, and then go back to that page which had the step-by-step process. When you go back to the page, go to step 3 and put in the link that you copied. And then you can go to optional settings and you can change the font, you can change the language, you can sort of decide what is going to be your first slide, start at the end. And then finally, before you get the link to share your slide, or you could embed that on your website, you can actually do a preview. That was pretty simple, right? That's it. So you can create, and you can have, 10 slides, 20 slides. All you'll need to do is you'll need to go to this template that you saved and keep adding. So it can be like, if you have, for example, what I was playing around with is for a long time, I've been creating this historical timeline of colonialism. And so I started putting in those dates, and I started putting in, and so I've been using just the table that I created. I can show you the table. Let me see. Okay. This is just being annoying. Anyway, so let me see if I can show you another timeline that I was creating the other day. Oh, not bad.
Dr. Ani?
Yes, Blanca?
I think I missed something in transitioning from my phone to my computer. This is for what purpose?
This is a way of data visualization. So you can, like, for example, if you have created a table like this, right, depending on the kind of information that you're trying to share. So for example, I've been creating this historical timeline. This was my way of introducing colonialism to undergraduate students who may not have an idea of, okay, what sort of led to colonialism? Why were the Western powers trying to get to India, the spice trade? So I would just show them the table, but this information in this format is not necessarily very accessible. But now imagine if I use that template, and instead of like my life story, I put in that information, and I had like videos, and I added images.
Okay.
And then I would generate that, and it would look like it would be a slideshow, which I could put on my website for people to access.
So it's kind of like a form of PowerPoint.
It is a form of PowerPoint, except with a PowerPoint, you would, the PowerPoint eats up more space, and this allows you to have it allows you to have like the difference between a PowerPoint and a timeline is a PowerPoint is just a series of slides, but with a timeline, you're sort of saying, here is a progression of events.
Got it. Okay.
Right. Like, for example, it depends on your digital project. And you could kind of create a sequence of slides to, let's say, using PowerPoint to sort of show a timeline. But with this, it's easier if you have a data set.
Got it.
And imagine if you have 100, bits of information. If you save up the data in this form and you upload it, then it will automatically create the slides for you instead of you having to design every single slide of a PowerPoint.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, but the point is with the timeline. So instead of like my life story, let's say if you imagine a digital project where you're looking at the change. The changes that have taken place on a particular street in your town. So what you're doing is you're saying from this time to this time, these 5 years, these shops were there, and you have a few images of those. But then after those 5 years, you have like from this time to this time, some of the shops remain, but other shops were replaced, and the look of them. So you have street images of some of those, and then you could then create a timeline where somebody, and you can set the timeline, this presentation to play automatically, and you add that to your website, you embed it. And so people going to that page will kind of see that timeline, and they'll see, okay, this is the digital project where you're getting to see how that street in that town in Texas evolved over a period of time.
Got it.
Right.
Okay.
But, there are other ways of sort of conceiving. And so one of the things that you should definitely do as you're sort of playing around with this is go to that website, the timeline.nightlab.com, and then look at some of these examples.
Okay.
Right. And the examples will give you a better understanding, like Northwestern University, Whitney Houston.
Got it.
Here's another timeline. And the fun thing about this, or the useful thing about this is, as you're sort of checking it out, I think with most of them, it allows you, let me see, it should, maybe this one doesn't. Usually allows you to download the data set so you can actually look at what the data set looked like. This thing's in the way and I'm having trouble.
You mean the actual data on the timeline itself?
Say that again?
The actual, like the timeline that we opened up.
Right, like so how was that
each
data
row
set
and
organized?
everything.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Right.
I got it.
So anyway, a brief history of the banana business. I don't know what that is, but that might be interesting to check out as well. So anyway, so play around with this. You may not use this, but I want to kind of introduce you to the different kinds of tools that are available. So like next Wednesday, the workshop is on Voyant, which is a data analysis tool that also is a form of data visualization. This is Timeline.js. You can use this, or you can use PowerPoint, depending on the size and the scope of the presentation that you're creating. Whether you have a data set that you want to very quickly convert into a series of presentation slides, then Timeline.js might be more useful to you. Also, the other thing that I'm going to show you right now, which is map making using Google Maps. But if you watch the video that I posted on our website, so you would go to readings and then scroll down for telling and look for telling stories through digital mapping. And so Dr. Emily Edwards talks about using Map GIS, which is a different kind of mapping, right? So there are all of these tools, and that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to use any of them. But part of this class is just sort of introducing you to these tools and the different possibilities that you have.
Right.
Okay. So now moving on from Timeline.js, let's take a look at My Maps. So you basically go to google.com and then do a search for My Maps. And then you click on that and it'll take you here. Now, keep in mind that there are other softwares that allow you to create other kinds of interactive maps. Google My Maps is really easy to use, right? So it's a good place to start and kind of play around with map making. So if you are here on the Google My Maps page, just click on Create a New Map. Now, let's say your digital project is you're mapping historical places. Can any of you sort of suggest some historical places in your hometown? At least 4 or 5. Carla, do you know some 4 or 5? I mean, they don't necessarily have to be historical, but places that we can call historical in your hometown.
So, so my hometown is, well, I always say South Texas. So the cathedral is definitely a historical place.
Sure, absolutely. But
Yeah.
what's the name of the town?
Oh, Corpus Christi.
Oh, Corpus Christi. Okay, that's perfect. So this is an untitled map. So we'll just give it, we'll say, this is your project, historical Corpus Christi. Okay. And you can add more information, like you can provide a description of the map. Okay. Then this untitled layer, historical places in Corpus Christi.
So it would be
Okay.
the
Let's just
cathedral.
do a search on Corpus Christi, Texas. We don't necessarily need that. We haven't added it to the map. Okay, so give me the name of what was like which cathedral?
The Corpus Christi Cathedral.
Okay, Corpus Christi.
Cathedral.
This one?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna just click on Add to Map.
Okay. And then
Mhm.
there's the Heritage Center, which is a lot of historical.
Okay, but before we'll move on to the next one. You have some
Oh.
choices here. One is if you want this to pop, you can change the color. And so you can pick any color that you want and other colors too. So let's say, let's pick that. And then there are these icons. So you can look at more icons. And then this is a cathedral. Do you see any particular icon that looks like a cathedral? Places, it must be under places.
I can't see it very well, but just like
Yeah,
a little.
I wish I could. And see, there you even have the option of doing a custom icon. So, and you can do a filter. So let's see.
If you put chapel or church.
Places, currency. Oh, church. That's good. Worship.
Cross.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
Places of worship.
okay.
Okay, I'm going to choose that icon. Okay. Right. Okay, then you said.
There's the heritage homes. Oh, Heritage Park. It's the same thing.
Okay, heritage.
Those are historical homes.
Okay, I'm going to add this to the map. Once again, I can change the color. It's a park, so I'm going to do it in green. More icons, filter, park. What is that? Amusement park, parking, park. So let's do park. Okay.
And then the Bayfront wall, that's actually historical too. The
Which
Bayfront
one?
wall. The Bayfront wall, like the ocean wall.
Oh, what would it be called?
It's called the Bayfront wall.
Wall.
No, maybe not. Just put go back to Bayfront. I would say okay, so it says our
Maybe it's
shoreline.
the oceanfront wall.
No, go back into Bayfront and then
Mhm.
it's an ocean Bayfront Park. Okay. So the shoreline is the street, it's on. Up on the top, it's the first one.
The Bayfront Park.
Yeah, so the Bayfront Park, I guess that's what it's called. It's basically
Okay,
it's
so we're gonna add
all
that.
yeah.
We'll keep it blue because it's near the ocean. More icons. Let's see if there is something for heritage. Okay, now I go to park. Okay. Right. Now, essentially, if you just want to quickly take a look at what your map is looking like, and then you have some choices. See, so the choices are with the base map, you can change the look. Right. So this one just has, so this one is just simply going to highlight the places that you are marking. And also, suppose you kind of want to say, oh, look, this place is sort of bounded by these heritage, locations. So some of the things that you can do is this allows you to draw a line. So I'm going to scroll down a little bit more. And then you can do add a line or shape, add driving route, add biking route, add walking route. So I'm going to I'm going to click on this. But here. So it kind of does this visual mapping, and I can add more stuff. And if I want to, I can add another layer. So these are all the heritage sites, but suppose I want to add another layer and call this great places to eat. And now I can have more places like with the restaurants. But the point is, I'm just using, but with a map, it could be like if you're sort of digitally mapping the travels of a travel writer in South Texas, like this person was, somebody who traveled a lot in South Texas and wrote about South Texas locations. So you want to map all the places that this person stayed in. Or let's say you belong to a particular organization that has centers all over South Texas, and your digital project is to get a history of, you're focusing on the history of that organization, right? So like the YMCA and or the YWCA, right? And what you're going to do is on South Texas, you want to map all the places where you have YWCA centers, right? So that people can go, oh, okay, it's spread out all over South Texas. And it just becomes one part of your website. And it's really easy to, and you can create it really, really quickly. And it also has other options like where you can kind of add more information. You can add an image or a video. So you can make the map a little more interactive. When you are done, just go here. Before you can embed on your site, you have to say share and say anyone with a link can view. Okay, and then you go close. Now, if you want to embed it on your website, you just get the iframe code and you embed it on your website. Or if you want to print it out, but you want to create an image, just go to print, and it's going to create it as an image, and then print. And that's what it's going to look like.
Once you
I can,
embed it,
sorry, go ahead, Carla.
once you embed it, can you alter it or is it permanent? Okay.
Absolutely, because it's what you're embedding is the link, and the link takes you to the map that you saved. Right. I can scroll down a little bit and then do the print. And you could do landscape, and you can change the look of the, and then do print. Right. So here is another way of visualization. And these are two very simple. I'm not, I mean, again, with Google Maps, you can play around and you can add a little narrative and images and videos, and you can make it more interactive. You can do more. You can work with the coding. You can, and also there are certain kinds of visualization tools that allow you to directly link up with Google Maps, so that if you have geographical places in your visualization, you can actually have Google Maps built into it. There are lots and lots of possibilities. All I'm showing you right now, the goal here is to simply introduce you to two very easy tools that you can play around with, you can use, and then see if you want to incorporate some of these visualizations in your digital project. Okay. So any questions? Now, have you played around with the other visualization tools? Like, have you ever tried out Canva, which is really good for creating infographics? And so Blanca, you're familiar with Canva. So Canva actually allows you to embed Google Maps.
Really?
Yes, I see. Again, the more you play around, you sort of find stuff out. So like if you go to Canva, let's say we want to create a new doc. So on the left-hand side, go to apps and go to Google Maps, and then you can double click to interact. Hold on. This. Why it's not, it should show. Not really sure why. Maybe it is taking a little while to upload. Okay. Open embed link in a new tab, but I don't know why the visual isn't popping up. It should. Let's do the. Yes, it's there, but I don't know why it's not showing. That's super weird. Yeah, I need to kind of play around with this and figure out why it's not showing up. But this is supposed to be the process by which you embed the map directly onto the presentation that you're creating or the project that you're creating. It could be an infographic, but Canva, this is the free version. And Canva, if you go to the dashboard, it allows you to create infographics, photo collages, graphs. So it's a fantastic visualization tool, right? Any other tools that you're familiar with? Anybody? This is something that I didn't want to overwhelm you with, but there is a free digital tool or a free version of a digital tool. So if you go to that website where you have the list of all the data visualization tools, see down here at the bottom, it says Tableau Public, a desktop application to build and post interactive graphs, dashboards, maps, and tables to the web. So I am not an expert with this, but I'm learning. And a good thing is all of you have access to LinkedIn Learning. So if you go to LinkedIn and you go to LinkedIn Learning, it'll take you to the university's website for you to log in. But you can then learn about how to use Tableau. So they have an essential training course, and at the end of the course, it's certificate eligible. So you complete the course and you take all the tests that they have, and so it'll tell you that it's about 4 hours, 42 minutes. So you can do it over a period of time, and you get a certificate saying that you know how to use Tableau. But this is what Tableau looks like. Am I sharing the screen? I'm not sharing the screen. Okay, so this is what Tableau looks like. So this is LinkedIn Learning, and if you do a search on Tableau, you'll see this this course called Tableau Essential Training, and it gives you can pace yourself. You can take 2 years to complete it, but when you're done, you'll get the certificate. And LinkedIn Learning is great because I don't know if it has Timeline.js, because it's a free software, so I don't know. Oh, look, this is some other software creating multiple timelines. But for a lot of, I think, like Adobe InDesign, if you've never used Adobe InDesign, so InDesign 2022 Essential Training. So they have a lot of amazing videos. And then you can kind of pick the one that works best for you. So like InDesign 2023 Quick Start is only an hour long. Or this one's 44 minutes, but it's 2021. Anyway, so this is what Tableau looks like. And I'll just very quickly show you some simple things that you can do. So you'll need an Excel file, right? Any kind of data file. So here I have a data file which has names of people, their majors, and then whether they have any graphic design experience. These are all the people who have volunteered for our Javelina Express magazine. So I'm going to go to the worksheet, and then I'm going to first pick the names. Then I'll add the majors. And do you have any? And then I take the majors to the columns. And then instead of automatic, I'm going to choose circle. And see, it creates a chart for me, which shows how many civil engineers there have applied and how many. So all the different. So if I'm sort of presenting this to the university saying, look, the volunteers from our magazine come from all different majors, this would be a fantastic chart to show them. And I can play around with it. I can change the color, let's say to red. I can increase the size so that they pop a little bit more. With the, instead of a circle, I can do shape. So, I can play around with this. So it's really, really easy. But the other amazing thing about this is if instead of the information that I have, I had like countries of different people, this would automatically map those countries and create a map to show where our different students come from.
Dr. Ani, to access LinkedIn Learning, how do we do that? Okay,
good question. Now, keep in mind, this LinkedIn Learning has the course that shows you how to use Tableau Public. Now, when you start the course, they will actually tell you how to download the desktop app, and it's free, right? But LinkedIn Learning is simply where the course is available. So what you do is you go to, just do a search for LinkedIn Learning Tamuk. LinkedIn Learning, log into LinkedIn Learning, and you use your login credentials. So basically you log in using your university ID and password. Okay, introducing LinkedIn Learning. This is a fantastic resource. It's like Khan Academy, but for everybody. Not just like science subjects, but art, design. Okay. All right, so it's been about an hour. Do we have any questions? Do you have stuff that you can play around with? Right. And please keep in mind, I've just shown you some easy tools to use depending on your level of comfort with digital technologies. Just keep looking for things that suit your needs, and also use that University of Arizona Library's website to look at all the different tools that are on offer. And then I promise you, this semester, I mean, you have the digital mapping workshop from last semester, and then we'll have another workshop this semester. But in the future, even after this class is over, I will keep offering more and more workshops, and I'll bring in experts in digital humanities, people who have way more knowledge than I do, right? Who actually have jobs in digital humanities. All I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to create a space for you to create the kind of projects that would be relevant to your lives and to the work that you do, right? Because doing research is important, but with the digital project, you're still doing research. Knowing how to cite properly, how to develop an argument is important, but you'll also do that with your digital project. Writing an academic paper is important because it shows you how to structure, it gives you practice, it makes you structure your argument, it hones your writing skills. But you may never write academic papers unless you go, you stick around in academia, but you may write like project grants so that you can develop a project at your workplace. So there are other skills that you can pick up, and I just want to create a space where you can explore those skills so that not everybody here is thinking of getting a PhD later on or teaching at a university, right? But these skills are useful irrespective of your profession. Yeah, Carla, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just full of questions today. But my question would be, so you were talking about bringing in people to and workshops. I actually was looking to see if there are doctorate programs for digital humanities. Would you be like bringing in people to kind of talk about, like if we make a decision to go further?
No, absolutely. Like, so a doctorate program in which field?
In digital humanities.
In digital humanities, absolutely. I mean, I have recordings of people. I have a recording of a presentation by one of our former students who went to get a graduate degree from the University of Nebraska at Lincoln. And her graduate degree was in history, but she ended up working with the Digital Humanities Resource Center. And she now works as a web developer for the Digital Humanities Resource Center at UNL, right? And so she talked about her process, and she talked about, some of the things that she was introduced to. I have that recording. I can share that with you. Yes, absolutely. Like Amy Earhart. I know, Carla, you may not be able to attend the lunch, but I'll put you in touch with her. And again, she is in the Department of English and she does Africana studies, but she's also affiliated to the Digital Humanities Resource Center at Texas A&M University College Station, right? And so one of the reasons why I'm bringing Amy Earhart is talking to her, you become, you sort of become a part of the network. And then whenever there are opportunities for like presentations, so one of the things I want to kind of suggest to all of you, there is, I think I told you about the Conference of College Teachers of English, Texas. It's a regional conference. The good thing about this conference is that it always takes place in Texas. So it's always within driving distance. And as graduate students, you have access to some travel funds. So pretty much your travel, your stay, the conference registration will be covered. So one of the things that I can do, if you're interested, yeah, Blanca, I just saw your message. Yeah, that's the day I'm bringing her to campus. But once, I mean, if you suppose for any reason you're not able to attend you have commitments on Wednesday, I can put you in touch with her or with other people. Like you'll get to watch the recording of Dr. Emily Edwards presenting on digital mapping. She is very friendly. She is deeply sort of linked to people in the Digital Humanities Network. I can put you in touch with her. She teaches in New York. You can find out about other kinds of opportunities. I am part of listservs where I find out about fellowship opportunities, internship opportunities, conference opportunities. There is a Digital Humanities summer program, very famous. There's one that happens in Canada, but there are quite a few that happen in the United States. Some of these have scholarship opportunities for students from minority serving institutions. So once again, if you're really interested and you want to learn more and you want to become a part of the network, there are collaborative projects going on. Just let me know. And then based on your interest, I'll hook you up. I'll link you into the network so that then you can get to know people. And who knows, 5-10 years from now, you'll be teaching. I'll be inviting you to come talk to students about your journey, in the field of digital humanities. And again, that's what we did. We reached out to Sarita and said, hey, do you mind coming in and sort of talking to everybody about how you made that transition from history to digital humanities? And the work that she is doing is still based on history, historical studies, but they're using, it's that conception of digital humanities, which is re-envisioning the scholarship that you do by thinking of all the opportunities that digital technologies provide. So what was I talking about? Like connecting you to the network. Oh, the conference. So the Conference of College Teachers of English, Texas. If you are interested, and this is for all of you and those who will see this recording, the deadline to submit proposals is the 23rd of October, by which time you will have submitted your digital project proposal. You will have started building your digital projects. If you are interested, if you let me know, I can create a panel and the conference will take place in February, at the end of February of 2024. So, and it'll take place in Denton, Texas, which is close to Fort Worth, I think. So essentially what you will do is you'll take turns, you'll each have about 10 minutes, and you'll showcase your project. Now, we did something like this with two of Amber's in this class. Amber's already done this. Amber, Henry, Josie, Ifeanyi, they all developed digital projects for another class. They weren't as fleshed out because they didn't have as much time, but Amber and Henry went with me to the Chancellor's Conference on Academic Technology and showcased their projects, and it was amazingly well received. Right. So again, if you're interested, let me share the link. I thought I had, I must have forgotten to send it to you. Hold on. Okay, so that's the link to the conference CFP, or the call for papers. But let me know if you want to create a panel, and the panel can have 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, it doesn't matter. But you can go as a group, and then 2 benefits. One is this is not really a digital humanities conference, but the great thing about the Conference of College Teachers of English Texas is if you've never presented at a conference, it's a really nice sort of experience for you to have and sort of get started with conferences, because they are a very nurturing community, and you become a part of the network of college teachers of English in Texas. And you have members from tier 1 institutions, you have members from other public 4-year institutions like us, which are somewhat smaller, so they're research too, emerging research institutions. Then you have community colleges, and you also have high school teachers of dual enrollment English, right? So to getting to know them, what happens is after you graduate, if you do want to work for a while, you can, through that network, find out about job opportunities. But also, if somebody teaches at, let's say, University of North Texas, and they are aware of a scholarship that you can apply for in their PhD program, they'll share that information with you, right? So again, that's the point of joining or becoming a part of a network. Yes, Carla.
My question would be, how accommodating would it be? So I'm hoping by February that Lupe would be able to kind of allow me, like I will be to the point where I'll be able to be more in the public, but I guess I would.
Well, again, depending on your needs, the organization can, okay, so I can, I mean, it's a public nonprofit organization. So we are supposed to make sure that we have accommodations. So in the past, we created Zoom sessions for people who were not able to travel to the conference. So something like that, like a hybrid modality, might be created. It's usually, of course, defined. I mean, it's sort of constrained by what is possible for the organization. This is not an organization like a university, so it has limited funds, but whatever is possible, the organization will explore. Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in talking more about it, because there would definitely have to be
Yeah, and there are digital conferences that you can attend. So again, what I need from you is, I don't know how much information to give you, because I don't know how involved you want to be or how interested you are. So if you are getting more and more interested, then reach out, and when you let me know, like, oh, Dr. Ani, if you have information about a digital conference, can you let me know? Or, and it's not always to do a presentation. Some digital conferences are free to register for, right? So essentially, you just attend the conference, you attend sessions to learn about, digital projects and digital like collaborations, project management. Let me know if I get that information. I'll share it with you, and then you're building your resume and you're getting to know new people, right? Anyway, so I think unless you have more questions, we'll call it a day. So before some of you join, I mentioned that next week we won't be meeting on Zoom. Instead, make an effort to attend at least one of the events with Dr. Amy Earhart. If you cannot be on campus, then just join on Zoom. But I completely understand, that might be during your work time, right? And so it's okay, just let me know, because I will be recording the sessions and I'll make the recording available to you later on. Okay. And then the following week, I've basically set time aside. So basically next week and the following week, I want you to meet with me once or more than once, but really talk about your digital project topic. Let's narrow it down. Let's give it a concrete shape. Let's talk about what kind of platform would be perfect for you, what tools you can use. If collaboration is necessary, like you need help with developing something, I can put you in touch with the right person, so that you can start writing the digital project proposal.